Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Always a delight to have Nisha Jackson in the studio. She heads up Ventana Wellness. I have my water, but the only thing missing in that water is lemon.
Yes, exactly.
So we're gonna talk about spring cleaning your liver, and I'm assuming now, listening to you for all these years, water and lemon is a start.
Right, it is a start. You know, it seems like we keep coming back to the liver. Have you noticed that?
I noticed that, yeah.
Over the years, we've talked about the liver. At least once a year, we do a show on the liver, which should tell you how important the liver is.
Yeah.
It's the master detoxification organ.
Okay.
So sometimes we need a little detoxifying, don't you think?
I think we do.
And lemon is a good way to do that.
I want to say to our viewers and listeners, if you want to join us while Nisha's in the house, you're welcome to join us. The local number is 541-776-5368. The toll-free number is 800-373-5368, and we'll take your calls. All right, so we're going to do a little spring cleaning on that organ, huh?
Yes. Well, the one topic I want to address today is fatty liver. And you know, Perry, it's interesting. A lot of people actually think about liver problems in association with too much alcohol intake, you know, like an alcoholic liver.
Right.
That's kind of traditionally how we view liver problems. Like if you have liver problems, you must be drinking too much alcohol. But really the problem is that we have so many toxins in our diet today. Artificial colorings, pesticides, herbicides, just preservatives that are in our food, boxed foods, packaged foods. So all of those toxins and preservatives and artificial ingredients that are not man-made, that our body doesn't really know what to do with, all of those toxins have to be detoxified by our liver. So that's the liver's job, is to kind of take care of all of that.
Clean the blood, huh?
Clean the blood. So the problem is that over time, with a poor diet, and yo-yo dieting is a big problem, because every time you lose weight and then you gain weight, the problem is that you develop more fat around your liver. And more fat and toxins developed around the liver and within the liver cells leads to something called fatty liver.
Fatty liver.
Fatty liver. So technically it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And 1 out of every 3 Americans has this problem.
Really?
So if you're wondering why you can't lose weight, and you're wondering why you may have more hormone problems today than you've ever had before, because your liver is very important for detoxifying and excreting hormones. If you're wondering why some of these problems are taking place, you're developing skin problems, dark circles on your skin. I mean, there's a whole host of side effects of fatty liver. It may be that your liver has developed too much fat over time.
So,
Yes.
are we putting the liver on a diet?
Yes, we're going to put the liver on a little bit of a cleanse, because this fatty liver is very problematic for people as they age. It leads to all sorts of medical issues. Certainly the liver, when it becomes sluggish and it's not functioning at a high level, it leads to the problem of accumulation of toxins within the system. And it may be anything maybe as benign as constipation to problems with the liver function not working well, and then you get this accumulation of toxins that can make you very, very sick. So it's important to think about your liver as an organ that we have to keep sort of fine-tuned, like a car would be.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we actually can't live without. You can live without one of your kidneys, you can live without one of your lungs, but you can't live without your liver. So that's the organ that we actually want to take care of, because it just has so many jobs within the body.
All right, so where do we start, Coach?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to look at what are some of the causes of fatty liver, because then we can identify, okay, maybe some of those things we can eliminate in our diet or what we're exposed to. So the first one is excessive weight gain over age. Just like I had mentioned, the yo-yo dieting is an issue, because with gaining weight and losing weight, it's a real problem. With every time you gain weight, you have a tendency to put more fat really just around the liver and within the liver. Also, triglycerides are a problem. If you've had a lipid profile done recently, a cholesterol profile, it may be that your triglycerides are very high. When we see high triglycerides, we start worrying about what state the liver is in. because one of the jobs for the liver is it's a master detoxifier, but it's also a blood detoxifier for fat. So if you have too much accumulation of fat within the blood, the liver becomes sluggish. So we have to look at what raises triglycerides. And some of the things that raises triglycerides, 3 things: alcohol, sugar, and excessive flour. So anything that raises triglycerides will put more of an impact or a larger impact on the liver. So we have to start looking at how can we get our diet a little bit more clean, which is what it always seems to come back to, doesn't it? So looking at just eating whole foods, colorful foods, lean proteins, lots of vegetables, because the higher the fiber is in the diet, the better the liver works. So that's one of the things we can do, because you have to kind of think the liver's a little bit downstream, so whatever you put in your mouth has to go through the gut and ultimately it ends up at the liver and then back into the colon. So you have to kind of think about what you're putting in your mouth is actually affecting the liver. So, and then we look at eating clean, but thinking about eating foods that are just they have too many herbicides or pesticides, so cleaning your vegetables really well, going with organic fruits and vegetables and dairy products and meat products I think is really important, just to eliminate the exposure that you get to the liver. So lowering your triglycerides, or maybe even having that level done.
Okay, is that a blood test?
Yes, that's a blood test.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that we need to look at when we have to say, okay, well, how is this person's diet? And typically, unless you have a very strong genetic predisposition to high triglycerides, typically you can control triglycerides with the diet. And the 3 big offenders are alcohol, sugar, and flour. And when I say flour, I mean any kind of flour. Excessive gluten, excessive flour in the diet can lead to an inflammation, and that can really affect the liver in a negative way.
Wow. All right, let me just say, if you have any questions about any of this, you're welcome to join us. The phone number is 541-776-5368, or if you're outside the immediate area, give us a call, 800-373-5368. And if you want to learn more about Ventana Wellness, you can go to ventanawellness.com and check out all of their resources there. All right, so let's just assume for a moment we took the blood test, we have a high triglyceride, so sugar, alcohol, flour. I would say probably of the 3, sugar is the biggie.
It is huge because it seems to be in everything. Although now that people are into the whole gluten thing, which I know we've talked about that on shows before, I really think the biggest insult obviously is flour products, because we've eaten so much starch and so many flour products, refined flour products over the years, because we had the food pyramid that told us to eat 6 to 11 bread servings a day. And so we all become brainwashed that we need to have all this bread or foods that have flour in them. And then when we started talking about maybe limiting flour, people started eating whole wheat. Well, unfortunately, just flour in and of itself is really not a staple that we should be having a lot of, especially as we get older, because we have to think about our body and how our body metabolizes and absorbs and excretes different chemicals in foods as we get older. And one thing that we actually can't handle very much as we get older is sugar and flour. But those are the 2 things sugar, flour, and fat, all 3 together is a disaster. But those are the 3 things that we really crave more as we get older. If we get stressed, those are comfort foods. We want to eat them more. If we're tired and depressed, those are the foods that are very habitual and addictive. So you know what I mean? We have a tendency to eat them more as we get old.
You?
I know. I struggle with this too. So
There's chocolate in your house. There's chocolate in your house.
I did not mention chocolate or coffee.
Okay.
So those are the things that I think are really important to realize when we're talking about getting the liver back in good shape. The other thing that I want to bring up that we don't talk a lot about is low-calorie eating. Because we're so focused on eating good and eating clean.
I don't know, you've made me a label reader through the years.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so I'm looking for calories.
Okay, so calories, we can't really just not think about calories, because sometimes people eat really good food, but they just eat too much food. So, and actually that's becoming a bigger problem, is that people are just they're just taking in too much food.
Especially at night.
Especially at night, because you should be eating 70% of your calories before 6 p.m. 70% of your total daily caloric intake should be before 6 or 7 p.m. So unfortunately, Americans eat a small little breakfast. Sometimes they'll just eat a small lunch, or they'll skip lunch, and then they'll eat 70% of their calories after 7 p.m., which is a disaster, because your body can't really metabolize that many calories at one time and be able to utilize them for energy, because you're sitting down at night typically. So periodic low-calorie eating has actually been shown to slow the effects of aging. And one of the effects of aging is the liver. So there are cells in our body that duplicate, that rapidly duplicate, and we actually want to keep those kind of cells in our body. Studies have shown, Great Britain studies have shown, that if you do periodic low-calorie eating, that would mean I'm going to put myself for 2 weeks on a little bit lower calorie diet. It might be 1,200 calories, it might be 1,000 calories, but I'm going to give my gut a little bit of a break and reduce the load on my gut. Which, don't worry, you won't starve if you have 1,200 calories a day. And women might have to go a little bit lower, maybe even 1,000 calories for a couple of weeks, and still eating clean food, so fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats. Reduce your calorie intake for 2 weeks has shown to reduce the number of cells that stop duplicating. So those types of cells, we actually don't want to accumulate the cells that don't duplicate anymore, because that's what really sets in the process of aging. And I'm not just talking about how you look, I'm talking about how your body functions. So that's one of the little tricks that you can use to get your liver back into balance and stop the excessive aging process.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Nisha's with us. VentanaWellness.com is the website and the resource, and we're going to give you the formula of spring cleaning your liver, coming up in just a few moments. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to call in. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Nisha Jackson's with us, and she heads up Ventana Wellness. VentanaWellness.com is the website, and you need to check that out. It's a great resource. And today, a very, very important topic, fatty liver. It's a good chance you have one.
Yes.
You know, I'm still trying to figure out how to get over the addiction of sugar.
Yes.
I am hooked. I try everything, and I do watch it very hard, but apparently not enough.
You know, I think that the sugar problem is that, you know, we're looking for something to calm us down. We're looking for something to make us happy.
Yeah.
We're looking for something that we can grab on the go to get our blood sugar up, because the stress continues to drive our blood sugar down. So it's this terrible little vicious cycle that we get ourselves into, because sugar does do all of those things. It's just temporary.
You're spot on.
It does raise the serotonin, so we do feel good. It's a comfort food, especially if you mix a little flour and some fat with it. If you have a cookie or a piece of pie,
ice cream sandwich,
or a little an ice cream sandwich. Yeah, exactly. Fat, flour, and sugar. The terrible trifecta. Yeah. So I think that that's the issue, is that, you know, we're moving so quickly, and people do not understand that when you're pushing yourself, and it might not be bad stress, it just might be a lot of things going on, that you just have too much on your schedule. It could be all good stuff, that you're not struggling emotionally with anything, but it's just too much. So the stress hormones drive the blood sugar down, and your brain, when the blood sugar is low, is not screaming broccoli, it's screaming sugar, right? Because it wants a quick fix. So that's what we're fighting against, is that we have to really take time to be prepared. In the morning when we leave, we have to have enough food in our lunch bag to get us through the day, and it may be that you need a little bit more crunchy type foods, which are very calming, like cut up vegetables, could be broccoli, it could be celery, it could be carrot sticks, so that you can keep your blood sugar stable throughout the day and you're not hitting those lows, because we only have so much willpower. Willpower is like a gas tank. So as it goes through the day, your willpower goes down. Don't even think at 5 o'clock at night you're going to have any willpower to say no to sugar, because you won't.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared, and I think that's a thing that Americans are lacking, is this being prepared for their week, for their day. They're not sleeping enough at night, so they're waking up tired and irritable. And then, you know, when you're tired and irritable, you're not going to eat broccoli. You're probably going to eat sugar.
All right.
So
let's clean this fatty liver. What do we do?
Okay, so some of the supplements that I think are really important. So we talked about clean eating. We talked about maybe periodic low-calorie eating. We've always talked about having a full squeezed lemon in warm water every morning. But if you think you have fatty liver, so if you're diabetic, you have a strong family history of diabetes, you have more than an inch of fat around the middle part of your body. So if you can grab more than an inch of fat, and I just got back from vacation, so things are not looking real good for me right now. But if you can grab more than an inch of fat around your middle section, you probably are more prone to fatty liver, or you have it right now. Diabetics or pre-diabetics are 75% likely to get fatty liver. So if you think that you are having a hard time losing weight, you're noticing that your skin is kind of ruddy, you have problems with gut problems like irritable bowel, or you have constipation, it may mean that you need a liver supplement. And the one that I recommend has to have milk thistle in it. Milk thistle actually reduces the inflammation in the liver and around the liver. So it actually helps the liver work better. It supports the liver. So the supplement that I use every day is called Liver C. And I personally feel that people over the age of 40, and sometimes younger, because our kids are starting out eating really toxic at a young age. So over the age of 40, you should be on a liver support supplement at least periodically. If you're eating really clean and you've reduced your percentage of body fat, especially around the middle part of your body, which is kind of a telltale sign for how healthy you are, then you probably don't need the liver support supplement. But don't wait for the blood test of your liver to be abnormal, because you have to be kind of sick for your liver enzymes to be abnormal. So don't wait until that point. The liver support supplement typically has milk thistle in it. Also, another supportive supplement is vitamin E. Lecithin is another supplement that you can take. Many people now are not eating the yolks of eggs, but the yolks are actually what have the lecithin in it, which supports the liver functioning. So if you're going to have eggs in the morning, which I am a huge proponent of, at least have one of the yolks so that you can get some of the support to the liver. The intestines and the liver are very much supported by the yolk of the egg. Okay. So all the protein's in the white, but all the good ingredients are in the yolk. So don't forget the yolk. The other supplement that is typically included in a liver support supplement, because typically it's several different botanicals that help support the liver. So milk thistle is one of them. Carnitine is another supportive supplement to the liver, and it actually speeds up the metabolism of the liver, which is good because the better your liver is functioning, the faster you can metabolize those toxins. So L-carnitine is another supplement. And again, you don't have to go and buy all these supplements separately. It's very possible that the liver support supplement would have these ingredients in it.
And the one you're using is Liver C?
The one that I use personally and we have in our office is called Liver C, and it has these ingredients in it that work really well to support the liver. I typically tell people to start with 2 a day. Even people that are trying to lose 5 or 10 pounds that are big yo-yo dieters, they really should be on a liver support supplement. Their hormones become more balanced. The problem that women often get, and men get it too, is something called estrogen dominance. And that typically is a function of how healthy your liver is. And estrogen dominance for women would lead to weight gain, emotional instability, problems with changes in their skin, acne. Men can get more fat accumulation around their stomach and their breasts as men, and that typically means that they have too much estrogen rather than testosterone. So this is a supplement that kind of gets things back on track again, but you have to couple it with good exercise, taking care of your sleep at night,
water,
making sure that you're clean eating, because, you know, you can take these supplements, but if you're not doing your part, they'll only work so much. So I think you have to do the whole package in order to get the best benefit.
How long does the cleanse last?
Well, I recommend that you stay on a liver support supplement long term. Like I said, if you've gotten your percentage of body fat down, your diet's really clean, you're taking good care of yourself, you can go off of it and maybe just do it 1 month every quarter or 2 months per year. Just use a liver support supplement. But if you haven't reduced your percentage of body fat, especially around the middle part of your body, and your diet is not as clean as it should be, I would recommend longer term. Or if you have diabetes, I would recommend that you stay on it long term.
Okay.
Or pre-diabetes.
Obviously, a liver cleanse doesn't really work unless you change the diet with it.
Yes, and you know, some of the other concerns with fatty liver would be alcohol intake. So some people have gotten used to having a glass of wine each night or 2 glasses of wine each night. Just remember, all of those things have to be dealt with at the site of the liver. So reducing the insult to the liver is a good idea. Maybe pick 2 nights a week that you can have that, or eliminate it altogether for a period of time, just to give your liver and your intestines a break. The other thing that we don't often think about is processed foods. I know we talked about artificial ingredients and pesticides and herbicides, but just the processed foods. If you've become a label reader and you turn something in the grocery store around and you look in the ingredients and you can't even pronounce some of those ingredients on the list, you probably shouldn't be having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what does your body do with all that stuff?
Well, you see the sugar, you see the carb. I look for protein, usually very low, which is not good. And then there's this other thing, sugar, alcohol.
Yes. Yes.
That's the new number on the
yes.
labels, you know.
Sugar alcohol is being used more because some of the preliminary research on it shows that it doesn't raise insulin, so a lot of the low-carb foods are putting sugar alcohols in it so that you can drive the sugar taste up, but you don't get the insulin. I don't totally buy into that. I would rather somebody maybe have that than sugar itself. But then again, typically things that have sugar alcohol in it will have other preservatives that really aren't very good for you. The other thing I was going to bring up real quickly, I just read in the paper that the FDA just approved a new artificial sweetener. Now we have 6 FDA approved artificial sweeteners on the market, or this is the 7th. This new artificial sweetener, you won't believe this, is 20,000 times sweeter than sugar. 20,000 times. Okay, aspartame is only 200 to 400 times sweeter than sugar. So this is sort of like the king of artificial sweeteners.
This is the rock star drink of sugar.
This is a disaster. I'm telling you, the FDA now says that there's nothing wrong with this artificial sweetener. It doesn't cause cancer. Of course, we don't do these studies for very long. Yeah. We don't know what it's doing metabolically to the person. But the main thing here, and this goes back to the liver, if you're taking in something that's 20,000 times sweeter than sugar, what is it telling your brain? It's telling your brain that I need this sweet of a taste, otherwise I don't want it. So then we've become very addicted to sugar because we need something super sweet. So new companies are going to start using this artificial sweetener, which is terribly sweet, which again is going to just further this whole sugar addiction problem that we have, because our brain feels and wants that sweetness, and it's much sweeter than regular sugar. So we even become not even interested in fruits anymore because they're not sweet enough.
Yeah, and when you raise the bar that high, what do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
So just be careful about some of those things, and those are easy to avoid if, again, we're prepared at the beginning of the week and we have some of these foods with us, so we're not driving that blood sugar down. So that's probably the take-home message, is get prepared.
Okay. Well, VentanaWellness.com, and check it out. And if you're looking for the supplements, do you list those on your website?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can get them there. Check it out there, and check out all the services and resources available there at Ventana Wellness as well. Fascinating. So I'm going to have to look at my sugar intake some more.
It's an ongoing battle.
Well, it is. It is. I drink a lot of water, which is good, but
yes.
Every once in a while I fall off the wagon. So.
I know. It's easy to do.
Yeah. Thanks, Nisha.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll see you next time. We'll be right back.